So, hello everyone. Once again, I welcome you all to my series of lecture that is Understanding Pharmaceutical Science with Dr. Hariharan. So, today we are going to discuss about the hypersensitivity reaction. So, in this lecture, I have divided into three major parts. So, first we understand about the hypersensitivity. Second, one of the important terminology we use in the hypersensitivity reaction, that is anaphylaxis. Then third, we will elaborately discuss about the various type of hypersensitivity reaction. So first we understand what is an hypersensitivity reaction. So generally, normally in a person, an immune response will happen. So once a foreign antigen comes into the body, so against that our immune system will develop and respond through an immune response effector cells. So this will produce as an inflammatory condition. So this inflammatory condition generally helps in the elimination of the antigen but does not extensively damages the host tissue. So this condition is called as a normal immune response. So in a sensitized to the immune antigen, the body will defend itself with a limited inflammatory response. But in certain conditions, what happens is that this inflammatory response can be magnified and produces a deleterious effects that results in the damage to the host cells, and sometimes this reaction can even lead to the death. So this inappropriate immune response we generally call as an hypersensitivity condition, or we can call as an allergic condition. So if I clearly sees the word hypersensitivity, so hyper means an amplified response. That is, we can really, if we go through the term, this means it's an heightened immune response. Generally, it is becomes an inappropriate to tell an heightened immune response. In this condition, what actually happens is there's a heightened inflammatory response. This leads to the host cell tissue damage. That's why we call it as an hypersensitivity reaction. So this hypersensitivity reaction only can occur once our adaptive immunity gets stimulated. So hypersensitivity reaction can be due to an humoral mediated immunity or even a cell mediated immunity also can occur. So one of the major terms that we generally discuss while talking about the hypersensitivity reaction is the anaphylaxis. So if you see what is meant by an anaphylaxis, this word anaphylaxis was coined by the Poiter and Richet. So it is a Greek term. It generally translates, that is an opposite meaning of the prophylaxis. That means it clearly means it is an overreaction. So if you see the different types of anaphylaxis, the anaphylactic reactions is generally we called as an immediate hypersensitivity reaction. So anaphylaxis reaction, otherwise called as immediate hypersensitivity reaction. So this immediate hypersensitivity reaction will occur when the humoral mediated immunity produces an antibody. This antibody or the antibody forms a complex with an antigen and produces an immediate hypersensitivity. We can call as an anaphylactic reaction because the symptoms will generally develop within a minutes or within an hours once that person is exposed or encountered to an antigen. So there is another term is called as a delayed type hypersensitivity. So the name itself tells that it is delayed after some days after the exposure of the antigen. So now our major concern of discussion is the major topic of discussion is the types of hypersensitivity reaction. So we can classify the hypersensitivity reaction into different types. The major classification was put forward by Gell and Combs. So we can call the Gell and Combs of classification. Gell and Combs proposed a classification scheme in which he classified the hypersensitivity reaction into four major types. So one is immunoglobulin E mediated hypersensitivity reaction, that is type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. Second is the antibody mediated hypersensitivity reaction, that is type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. Third is the immune complex mediated hypersensitivity reaction called as type 3 hypersensitivity reaction, and the final one is the cell mediated hypersensitivity reaction we call as a type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. So we will understand one by one of this hypersensitivity reaction. So before getting into this, if you see the first three types, that is the type 1, type 2 and type 3. This hypersensitivity reaction is majorly contributed by the humoral mediated immunity, that is either by the antibody immunoglobulin E or immunoglobulin G, or by the antigen antibody complex. And the last one, delayed type hypersensitivity, fourth type, is caused by the cell mediated immunity. So we will understand one by one how this hypersensitivity reaction and its mechanism happens. The first one is the type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So we called as immunoglobulin E mediated hypersensitivity, because the immunoglobulin E antibody is the responsible for this hypersensitivity. So in certain cases it is found that certain antigen, we also called as allergen, so can cause an hypersensitivity reaction by stimulating a humoral response. So generally once an antigen comes in contact with a cell, the cell process it. If it is an extracellular antigen in nature, then the humoral antibody response will get induced. So the humoral antibody response is induced in such a manner that the B lymphocyte will convert it to the plasma cells and produce the immunoglobulins, antibodies. In this case, the type 1 hypersensitivity response is slightly different from the normal response of the humoral mediated immunity. So in this case, what happens is that the plasma cells will secrete an additional antibody called as immunoglobulin E, that is IgE. So this IgE is secreted and it can cause us a hypersensitivity either systematically or locally. So this mechanism, if you see in depth about how this type 1 hypersensitivity reaction occurs, so the antibody generally carries 4 chains. So 2 are light chains and 2 are heavy chains. So we can divide this antibody into 2 fragments. One is the upper part called as fragment of antigen binding, FAB, and the lower part, since it crystallizes, we call as fragment of crystalline. So what happens is the IgE, this fragment of crystalline, this FC part binds with the receptor, that is the FC receptor on the surface of the certain mast cells and the blood basophils. So what happens is this mast cells generally carries the FC receptors. So in this state what happens is the produced IgE will bind with this FC receptor. So the mast cells and the basophil now carries the IgE on its surface. Once the host exposed to the allergen second time, what happens is it binds with the FAB part of this IgE. So what happens, because of this, the basophils and the mast cell gets sensitized. So once it is sensitized, it has already stored the histamine in its granules, so it leads to degranulation of this cell. That means it releases the histamine. So histamine is the primary mediator, so it will stimulate the secondary mediators and a cascade of reaction of inflammatory reaction happens. Thereby the tissue damage happens. This is called as the type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. So if you see the mechanism in a graphical manner, so generally what happens is that the B lymphocyte on its surface carries antibodies, receptors. So once an antigen comes, it binds. So along with the T helper cells, what happens is this B lymphocyte gets divided and differentiated into 2 types of cells. One is called the memory cell, so it keeps in memory of the antigen, it will go. Second is the plasma cells. So plasma cells, otherwise we call as activated B lymphocyte, because it has an ability to produce or to secrete the antibodies. So one of the antibodies in this hypersensitivity condition is the immunoglobulin E is secreted. So what happened is next this immunoglobulin E binds with the FC receptor of the basophils or the mast cells, so which carries a sensitized histamine granules. On the second exposure of the same allergen, what happens is that this leads to degranulation process, and finally it leads to inflammatory reactions. So generally the type 1 reaction, the inflammation process is caused by this degranulation of the chemical mediators. So let us understand little bit about these pharmacologically agents in this type 1 reactions. So the pharmacological agents, otherwise we can call as the chemical mediators. These mediators generally acts on a local tissue and produces a secondary effector mechanism, like through the route of eosinophils, neutrophils and other T lymphocyte and platelets. So broadly we can classify these mediators into two types. One is the primary mediator, second is the secondary mediator. So what is a primary mediator? If you see that I have already told that. So generally the mast cells produce a granules called the histamine and stores in these granules. So once this primary mediator encounters an allergen for the second time, what happens is this produced granules get degranulated. So the most common primary mediator is the histamine. So apart from histamine, the protease, eosinophilic chemotactic factor, neutrophil chemotactic factor and heparin are considered as primary mediators. So these primary mediators can stimulate the secondary mediators. So if you see the secondary mediators, what happens? These secondary mediators either synthesized by the target cell activation or released by the breakdown of the membrane phospholipids during the degranulation process. So once the primary mediator binds with a target cell, the target cells get sensitized and it can release the secondary mediators, or it can break down and this breakdown part can act as a secondary mediators. So the most common secondary mediators are platelet activating factor, leutrokines, prostaglandins, bradykinins and various cytokines. So the type 1 hypersensitivity reaction is generally leads to anaphylactic reaction. So this is either a systemic anaphylaxis or a local anaphylaxis. So one is the systemic anaphylaxis. So it is a shock-like state, often leads to fatal condition because it occurs within a minute on the onset of the type 1 hypersensitivity reaction. And the second type is the localized anaphylaxis, otherwise we can call it as atopy. So this reaction can localize to a particular organ or a particular tissue. So after the allergic entry, so this you can see in an asthmatic patient. Once he inhales an allergen, so the broncho gets constricted. It's a localized anaphylaxis called as atopy. So this localized anaphylactic reaction we called as an atopy. So if you see the example of this localized anaphylaxis is allergic rhinitis, asthma, atopic dermatitis and certain food allergies. So the second type we are going to discuss is about the type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. So it is otherwise called as antibody mediated cytotoxic hypersensitivity reaction, because the antibody mediates the cell toxicity, that is the certain cells get destroyed because of the antibody in this hypersensitivity. So this type 2 hypersensitivity reaction is generally produced through the humoral mediated immunity. What happens after the antigen enters into the body, the plasma cells get activated and it secretes the antibody. So this secreted antibody can produce two type of damage to the cell. One, through activating the complement system, thereby it can kill the foreign cell generally in normal condition. In this case it will kill the host cell also. Second one is it can bind and produces an antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity, thereby it will eliminate it. In this diagram I have shown you that the IgG mediated cytotoxic hypersensitivity reaction. So in this condition what happened is that the antibody binds with an immune complex and activates the complement system. Otherwise the antibodies binds with the cell and forms the antibody dependent cell cytotoxicity. So this one, what happens is it attacks the target cell. So in this condition, the target cell is maybe a hypersensitive, our normal cell. It carries the surface antigen. So this complement system and the ADCC will react with the surface antigen and destroys the cell. So if you see the mechanism how it occurs in elaborately, so what happens is that the ADCC cell carries a FC receptor. So the produced antibodies bind with the FC receptor similar to IgE mediated immunity to the mast cells. So it promotes the killing of cells by binding of the antigen part of this cell. So in other way what happens is that this one can bind with complement system and it can stimulate it. So this process we can consider as opsonin, and it favors the phagocytosis process. So the major disease which is caused by this is the autoimmune disorders, are generally caused by the type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. A classical example of how we can explain about the type 2 reaction is the transfusion reaction. So generally the red blood cells carries number of surface proteins, maybe a protein or a glycoprotein on its surface. Based on this we classify the blood groups into A, B, O and the types. So each surface protein is produced by a specific allele of the genes. So a person having a one allele, it is not recognized by the other allelic form. So the antibodies will be produced against that surface antigen. So what happens is if a person is given wrong blood, then the transfusion reaction will start to occur. So that's why we classify the blood into ABO blood group. So if you see a person with A positive, if I wrongly transfused with a B positive blood, the clinical manifestation of this transfusion reaction leads to massive intravascular hemolysis. So the transfused blood cell surface carries the proteins. So this antibody and the complement activation leads to the destruction of this cell, that is the cell lysis will occur, and finally a catastrophic effect can happen. So this can be an immediate or delayed type. So if you see the examples of this type 2 hypersensitivity can also caused by certain drugs also. So drug induced hemolytic anemia is basically a type of the type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. So if you see the certain antibiotics like penicillin, cephalosporin, streptomycin, etc. will bind with on the surface of the red blood cell. Thereby it forms a hapten carrier complex like thing. So against this either a ADCC or a complement activation system can produce and produces a type 2 hypersensitivity reaction. So this leads to the lysis of the red blood cell that can lead to hemolytic anemia. That's why we call it as a drug induced hemolytic anemia. So then the third type comes, that is the type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. So it is we also called as immune complex mediated hypersensitivity reaction. So in this reaction what happens is that the antibody forms a complex with an antigen called as, we generally called as an immune complex, that is antigen antibody complex. So this complex action of antigen and antibody will facilitate the removal of antigen through a phagocytosis process. In a normal condition what happens when an antigen comes, our body produces the antibody. So the antibody binds with the antigen. So it forms an antigen antibody complex. Thereby phagocytic cells will come. Then it engulfs this antigen and destroys it away. But in this condition what happened is that the amount of produced this antigen antibody complex will be large enough to causes a tissue damage, producing an type 3 hypersensitivity reaction. So the magnitude of this reaction is basically depend upon the quantity of these immune complexes as well as the distribution in the body. So generally these complexes are distributed to a localized tissue and a reaction can develop. So when the complex is formed in the blood, it can also goes to a particular location, gets deposited and the reaction can happen. So if you see the mechanism of this reaction, what happens is that the complex gets deposited at a particular location and it can initiate a reaction. So because of this reaction, what happens? It attracts the neutrophils. Generally, this complex initiates a complement cascade system. Thereby, the neutrophils will get attracted. So, neutrophils generally stores the chemical mediator in its granules, so it can damage the particular tissue. So, if you have seen from the figure that the immune complex, the complement activation will occur and the neutrophils gets attracted to its location. So, if you see the examples, generally this circulating immune complex can cause us various conditions except the serum sickness. Right, this includes one, an autoimmune disease. Example is the systemic lupus erythematosus, rheumatoid arthritis, or a good posture syndrome. Second, a drug-induced reaction due to penicillin and sulfonamides. Third is an infectious diseases caused due to meningitis. So the last one is the type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. We also called as delayed type hypersensitivity reaction. So this reaction is generally caused by one of the subpopulation of the T helper cells. So this is a cell mediator hypersensitivity reaction. So that is Th1 cells generally causes a local inflammatory response due to the release of the cytokines. That's why we call it as a delayed type hypersensitivity reaction. So this reaction is generally characterized by large influx of the non-specific inflammatory cell, especially macrophages, to the location, and it causes a high amplified inflammatory response. This reaction was originally discovered and found in 1890 by Robert Koch. So how he has done the identification of this type 4 hypersensitivity reaction is that Robert Koch observed that certain individuals, once infected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, developed a localized inflammatory response. So to confirm this, what he has done is he has intradermally administered this antigen and a localized skin reaction is produced, and he named as a tuberculin reaction. So this has been produced a little bit delayed. Later on, it has been found that apart from Mycobacterium tuberculosis, many antigens can induce this response. So the name was changed from tuberculin reaction to the delayed type 4 hypersensitivity reaction. So this causes a tissue damage at a particular location it is associated with it. So if you see the different phases of delayed type hypersensitivity response, once an antigen comes in contact to a person, this reaction will take 1 to 2 weeks to get developed. So during the time, what happens is the antigen get processed by the antigen presenting cell. It gets presented to the Th cells. So these Th cells started getting differentiated and divided into cells. So basically it presents as MHC class 2. This step we call as a sensitization stage. So if you see in the figure, what happens that the antigen presenting cell will process the bacteria and present its epitope on its surface, and the Th cell will bind, and because of this the Th cell will get divided. So this is considered as a sensitization stage. Later on the subsequent exposure of the same antigen, a delayed type effector response will happen. So what happens is this divided Th cell will start secreting a chemical mediator, that is a cytokine. This cytokines recruits and activate the macrophage to this location, which is a non-specific inflammatory response. So if you see the effector phase, what action? The sensitized Th cell will interact with resting macrophages and activate these macrophages, then this causes an inflammatory response. So the delayed type hypersensitive reactions does not become apparent until an average of 24 hours. That means it will stimulate only after a day, and once it comes in second contact, the peak will reach within a 48 to 72 hours. So this is the basic understanding of this delayed type hypersensitivity reaction. So thank you very much for understanding each and every aspects of this hypersensitivity reaction. In future lectures, you can discuss about the different types of antigen antibody reactions as well as the various aspects of pharmaceutical science. Thank you very much.